You know, they say eventually our heroes have to go. And today one of definitely mine went away as the Macho Man Randy Savage passed away at an unfortunate age of 58 after he had a heart attack while he was driving his car this morning and crashed into a tree. Obviously, assuming the heart attack's what killed him, as his wife, his newly found wife, didn't have any damage at all to her. This is a death that it's very, very sad because for me, and I think a lot of people out there, we never see our heroes ever leaving us. Like, we don't ever expect, Spider-Man to die or, Superman to die or, your favorite sports athlete to die. But, the Macho Man Randy Savage was definitely one of my, favorite, not just wrestlers, but personalities on television. As he was a guy that he would say something and you wouldn't be 100% sure what he said, but it sounded freaking cool. And I guess that's what we all want to be, just, an out there person that comes off really, really important and cool. Really, my memories of Savage, unfortunately, I didn't get to see all the great matches he had with, the likes of Flair, Steamboat, Hogan, Hart, Honky Tonk Man, and the Federation with live as they happened because, unfortunately I wasn't born at that time, but I've obviously watched them going back in time. But I got to know Savage as the commentator, the play-by-play guy. So, to me, I always thought he was an important person there because they always would make it seem like, and it's true, I mean, he was a very important guy. I mean, he was a two-time WWF champion, and him being there and talking about the matches of the new guys, like, your Bret Harts, your 1, 2, 3 kids, your Shawn Michaels, your Razor Ramones, putting those guys over was really, really crucial because they were building on the whole new generation. They're going into the new generation. They put Savage on the sidelines, but having Savage there, he was that last lineage of the boom period of the wrestling business, basically. So I always thought he was important. Now, going back, of course, he just tremendous stuff. Obviously, through YouTube and stuff, I've seen a lot of the build to, his match with Hogan, but right now, at the moment, on, Classic On Demand, when they aired the Primetime with Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon, it's going into WrestleMania 5, and just his promos there, maybe his best promo work that he ever did. Trying to depict Hogan as the adulterer and, lusting after Elizabeth. And then just, like last week, I was, just bored and wanted to watch some classic wrestling, so I found the whole build to WrestleMania 8 with the Macho Man Randy Savage and Nature Boy Ric Flair for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. And, I lived through the Attitude Era, and, now I'm watching some of it back, and I thought, wow, this stuff was really edgy and kind of, not cool edgy, but that angle was edgy, but it was cool, and it just seemed so important, like it captivated you. And not only did that angle do a lot of things, it's a perfect angle of what I think we need to have in wrestling today. You get, two guys who have a feud that, you believed was real, and that was, a thing that Savage legitimately hated Ric Flair for the photos of Liz, and saying that, Liz was his first before he ever was yours, Savage. There was that, and plus, they had great matches, generated tons of money for the company, but you also got, a babyface turn, as Mr. Perfect would eventually turn babyface. And really, a new star for the future of the company was created, as Razor Ramon was a new character that they created, and they made him basically be Ric Flair's henchman to help Flair win back the WWF Championship before he would lose it to Bret Hart. So, I think that's what is something that needed, and Savage was just the focal point of it. And, just looking at, his promo work and his in-ring work, his promo work was, sometimes out there, but the energy and the intensity he brought to the stuff, always made me think this guy really is gonna kill the person he's going in the ring with. More so, like the Flair promos for sure, the Hogan promos, but I guess more importantly, the Jake Roberts promos and the Jake Roberts feud, which eventually got him back in the ring, which was incredible. But his in-ring work was, really impeccable. Like, he was doing stuff that I guess at the time we just thought was, wow, this is truly innovative. Like, we didn't see a man his size fly through the air doing the top rope, but I always look at a guy and how great they are in the ring with their selling, and I just rewatched from one of the tapes I have from the European Rampage tour. It was Shawn Michaels versus Macho Man Randy Savage for the WWF Championship, and how he sells this leg, it's like his leg is about to fall off. Just a true professional and a true, I guess he's the Picasso of wrestling. I want to say just a true work of art with whatever he did. He also got to branch off into being more than just a wrestler with, his appearances doing the Slim Jim commercials, so snapping into it and stuff like that. I mean, he basically made Slim Jim cool. So that's a really important thing. I guess for me as well, Savage is the reason I got into WCW. I knew about WCW and stuff like that as it, kind of aired on television right after the WWF Superstars would air, and it would kind of be tough to find, WWF Pro, WCW Pro, which is what it was, their Saturday show was called. But I never really got into it until I found out Savage left the Federation. I found out, wow, he's here now. It's really cool. So, I got to see there, and then, of course, his big thing in the company, his debut with WCW was, is he going to smack Hogan in the face, or is he going to shake his hand at Starrcade? So that was the thing. And just really, they rekindled a Flair feud, which was just as entertaining as it was in 92 back in 95. But the feud for me that will always be there would be his Diamond Dallas Page feud, because not only were the promos from Savage there to make you seem like they hate each other, but Page's promos were great. And it's just the thing, like, Savage always wanted to elevate talent, and you never, ever see that with a lot of top stars. They're like, no, we can't. Like, I can only really think of, like, Terry Funk and Bret Hart that always wanted to help elevate talent and have a next generation there. But Savage was always one of those people that always wanted to do this. So that was really one of the things I always will remember from him in WCW. Of course, towards the end of WCW, it's kind of a blur with, that Gorgeous George stuff, which I always was like, this is kind of uncool. I don't even think Savage thinks it's fun to do. It's just, going for a paycheck at the time. He, of course, then had that rap album, which, which of course was, I believe one journalist who reviewed it said, it defied the laws of physics that both suck and blew at the same time. But you know what? I bought it because we're all Macho Man Randy Savage fans, so really, it's just kind of an odd day. And I think the thing that I was more amazed about is his influence on not just the world of pro wrestling, but every top MMA fighter or MMA journalist out there today. That they always really wanted to do something in wrestling, but wrestling and its politics or what have you prevented them. So MMA is now their alternative because there's none of that stuff really in MMA. I mean, there may be, but it's not as open and well known as it is in the world of pro wrestling. But finding out how important Savage was to these people really, it really interests me. Because a lot of these guys are downright showmen in their souls, but I guess they can't have their, entrances and stuff like that. So they get to be the Macho Man in the cage for, 3 5-minute rounds, every 6 months, basically. So that's really all I gotta say. So for you, Randy, as much as I'll try to, this is Pepperette. It's not a Slim Jim. I can't find any, but I'll definitely snap the Pepperette for you, and we'll see you in the Hollow Hells of Heaven.